God, I'm unfit. So today's my first workout back after competing in the weekend. Unfortunately, competition didn't go well, so I do Olympic weightlifting, front snatch and clean and jerk. It's just one of those days I just felt, the bars just felt heavy. I just felt tired. So today's first session back, body's a little bit sore, but not too bad. After a competition, you can either go into like a deload after it, or a what you call week one, which is the beginning of a building phase. And for me, I'm going into week one now, so I'm starting that building phase. My next competition is in like 5 weeks in Hamilton. So I'm going through, so that's going to be nationals. Like I said, I'm competing as a master there. My wife's competing as in the open grade. So all I'm doing now is just getting a bit of ankling going. Olympic weightlifting, there's a lot of pressure going through your ankles. Right. These ones I call Spieler rolls. I named them after a CrossFit athlete called Chris Spieler. So we're taking that spine through flexion and then getting a little adductor stretch through that groin and the hamstrings as well. Then I like to peel that into a little bit of glutes. Next part is hand care. So if anyone's ever wondered what is the stuff they have on their thumbs when they do Olympic weightlifting, it's just strapping tape. Oh. The purpose is when you grip the bar, you do what's called a hook grip, which I'll show you later. So it's the strongest type of grip you can do on a pull-up bar. Means when you go to do the lift, there's going to be no slippage when you pull. You can keep that bar closer to the body. You get a better feel on the bar as well. So that's going to translate to a bigger lift, basically. It's also a safety thing as well. When you're learning it, it feels fucking terrible. Take a bit of thumb tape. Wrap that around. Now all the tape does is, because of the knurling on the bar, the knurling is the grip. If you're always doing a hook grip and you're doing a lot of reps, that knurling can start to rip up the skin. So this is just for longevity. If you rip your hands, then you can't train properly. If you can't train properly, then your training gets pushed back. That's the difference between training and exercising. Training has to be done on specific days. You've got to make sure you get your work in, otherwise you're not going to get your results.
It's quite funny. School called us because they found a white powder in a kid's backpack.
Sherbet.
It was sherbet.
I used to deal sherbet at high school. I mean, sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we took
I made a kit.
We took it to customs and everything, got a taste it.
Why didn't you just taste it?
No, because it looks...
I would have smelt it. I would have known. You should have bring to this sherbet expert. I would have known. I sold that shit so much in high school. I made a fucking killing. Everyone knew what it was straight away. It's just an overreaction of a teacher, eh? So, after like, I don't know, it might be like 2 minutes on camera, but that was like, what, 30 minutes of a warm-up? No, 26 minutes. So about 20 minutes faster than I would normally take. Now I finally get onto a barbell to lift a mediocre weight at best. Yeah, thanks, mate. So all I'm doing here is kind of feeling out each joint, feeling out my wrist, my elbow, my shoulders. If something feels a little nasty, I'll go and work it out. Actually, here's one for people that got tight ankles. Take the barbell, sit in the bottom of the squat, put the bar on the knee, drive your knee over your toe, but don't let the heel lift off the ground. If you want a bit of extra weight, you can just put the whole bar on that one side. You should be feeling a stretch. If you feel a blockage in the joint, that's something else. You've got to go work on the joint and then come back to the stretch. The reason I like this one is I like to stretch in positions that mimic what you're going to do. So I'm stretching the ankle in a squat pattern. So you notice I'm getting a little bit of chalk on my hands, winding into my thumbs and my fingers. All the chalk does is it kind of dries up any sweat, and it increases friction between you and the bar, allowing you to keep a tighter grip on the bar. Now that grip I talked about before is called a hook grip, right? Actually, I'll do it from behind. So in a hook grip, you're gonna wrap your thumb in and then grab it with as many fingers as possible. When I started doing this sport, I could barely grab it, and now I've got a lot more flexibility. I can get it with like my middle finger. And you can see how that is never gonna come out of the bar. It allows me to turn the bar and keep it close to the body, as opposed to this grip, which would peel it out as you pulled. God, I'm unfit. So now I've got 40 kilos on the bar. I've got to build up to 67, catch my breath, and start the timer, and then I'll do 1 rep every 75 seconds for 8 sets at that 67 kilos. So let's do it. This is one of New Zealand's elite female athletes. She's at the top of her game. While on shift. Nice. Right, let's go.
Focus the 2 legs.
Nice, out. Good. Woo. It's good. That's good. Nice. Ooh, see how I took a little step there? Not good. Wasn't perfect. Means the bar went out in front of me slightly, so I had to step forward to catch it. So I need to keep the bar a bit closer on the next rep. Much better. Ooh. That felt better.
Did you do that on Sunday?
Yeah, you're telling me, mate. It felt so heavy on Saturday. Let's go, come on. Up! Yeah, good. Little toey. Yeah. Like, get those elbows around the bar and it'll sit perfect. That was good though. Ooh. Oh, got it. A little soft on the cat shape. Way better. Nice. Yeah, they felt like nothing. Up. Way better. More balance that time, eh? Now it's moving. Last one, come on. Aggressive. Stick it. Much better. Finish the snatch session. I thought I'd break down the sport of Olympic weightlifting for you guys. So basically, it's a weight class sport. You've got to weigh in on the morning of 2 hours before you lift under your certain weight. I compete in the under 81 kilos. I normally train most of my time at around 82 kilos if I'm watching what I eat, and then I just water cut before the weigh-in. Now, you get 3 attempts at your max snatch, then you have an interval break, and then you get 3 attempts at your max clean and jerk. You have to announce your weights beforehand. You can only make a couple changes before each lift, and the bar continuously gets heavier. So if you select a certain weight, you can't go back down. You've got to take that weight. Now, the sport of Olympic weightlifting is basically getting that object from ground to overhead. The snatch means in one direct movement. So the bar, like you've seen, goes from ground to an overhead position, stand up, hit the lockout. You've got technical issues that we don't need to go in. Now, with the bar, I like to use my little Buddha saying and say, you must move your body around the bar. Do not move the bar around you. So if you look at me side on, right now, for my sit-up position, the bar is over the middle of my foot. I go through my first pull, my second pull, my third pull, right? So I've hit that triple extension. The bar's still over my center of my foot. From here, that's as high as it gets. You do see this action happen, but I don't pull the bar up. I pull my body down and under, and then land underneath that bar with the bar still over the center of your foot. You stand up, lock out the rep. That's what the rep should look like. The clean and jerk, which we're going to go into now, you're here, the bar starts over the center of your foot, pull the bar up through your extension, that's as tall as it gets. You pull your body down and under the bar, kind of need to move quicker than gravity. It's still over the center of my foot. You front squat it out, you dip, jump, and then split and land in a lunge. That bar is still over the center, you recover, the bar is still over the center of the body. Anytime during a lift, if the bar goes forward or back, slightly outside, that's when you'll see a failed lift, whether they'll drop the bar behind them or drop the bar in front of them. Next up, I've got split jerk, 5 singles at 104 kgs. So split jerk is from the rack. The split jerk is the second half of the clean jerk. So it's how you get a heavy ass weight from the, or for me, a mediocre weight, from the shoulder to an overhead locked out position. I'll need to change where the mic goes though. Most of the jerk, the power comes from the legs. I mean, having strong shoulders is always a benefit. Being strong is never a weakness, remember that, kids. Like I've got a little high school girl noodle arms, and I can still put over a big weight above my head. But in that jerk position, this is what's called like your front rack. When I dip drive, see how my hands are just nice and light, I'm not actually gripping the bar? The weight is actually on your collarbone. right? And you drive the weight off the collarbone with the legs, which accelerates the bar, and then as that bar is being accelerated up, you push your body down under the bar to hit that lockout, right? There's obviously exaggeration. Now, the flaws come when the power's in the legs and it needs to get out through the collarbone or through your shoulders, right? And it has to travel through the spine to do that. The tighter you can create all this muscle around your spine when you dip drive, the more power, the more energy is going to go through your spine and out the top. If I was relaxed, right, and I dip, and then as I drove, my body was like really soft, every time there's a break, you're losing some of that kinetic energy, so it's not going to be transferred into the barbell. So you'll hear lifters a lot of the time when we go to jerk, we say like, finish, which just means finish drive, or strong legs. And mindset is, this is where the power is. Get strong through your legs, trust your training, the rest will happen.
Your footwork was probably the best I've seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I finished, like...
I think you kind of rushed it.
Yeah, I did rush it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a press out too.
Yeah.
Snatch done, jerk's done, now I go on to my strength work. So today is just back squats. I got 3 sets, 2 reps at 113 kilos. I've been a competitive athlete for a long time, so I used to like count and weigh and measure everything. I did it for years, so now it's kind of intuitively in my head. Right now, because it's a weight class sport, I need to stay in the under 81s, so I'm just eating at a maintenance level. I definitely don't want to gain weight because then you've got to have like a more aggressive weight cut. I try to stick to about 40, 30, 30, so 40% protein, 30% carb, 30% fat, and it works pretty well for me. On my training days, I generally decrease the fat and increase the carb because I like to feel just a little bit more sharp. I also feel it helps my recovery. I'm a really boring eater. I can eat the same thing every single day of the week. Thank God I've got a wife and she forces me to have a little bit more variance in my diet, but I love my high protein yogurt in the morning with a little bit of granola put in there. I generally have a chicken salad because I do meal prepping at the start of the week, so it's a chicken heavy salad, and that's usually for like lunch. And then my dinners, I might have a protein shake middle of the day as well. Dinners, I'll probably have some sort of, like half the plate is literally protein, the other half is carbs, and then like a little bit of fat. So my favorite meat is steak. I'm really boring. So I'm not working on the clock. I just like to keep a running clock when I'm squatting or doing my strength work, so I know my rest periods are always the same. Right, 2 reps. Nice. So my accessory work for my weightlifting is 3 sets of 6 rep seated cable row. The RPE, so the rate of perceived exertion this week is a 6 because it's week 1. So I kind of mentioned that earlier, but it basically means it's like a 6 out of 10 intensity. You don't want to be maxing out in week 1.
No, you did really well.
Each week that intensity is going to build, right? So this is just a warm-up set. Cool. Two sets down, 1 to go. Halas, that means finish in Arabic. I'm done.